I'm going to walk you through how to upgrade if you bought a manual rig with the manual tensioner on it, upgrading it to a motorized rig. So first thing you're going to do is on the manual tensioner is you'll take the cover off. And then you will remove your strings from that cover. One on there, pull this loose, and unclip your yellow string from the drive line. You can unclip your carabiner here that holds your yellow strings, and just set that aside. Here. And then the bolt right here and the bolt right here, those will either be 7/16 hex or Phillips head screws. And remove those. And when you pull your manual tensioner off, set that aside. You're going to reuse the screws that you had with your manual tensioner when you install your motor. So you install your motor, you're just going to set it in the back, line it up with those holes, and put your bolts through. Okay, so now that we got the motor mounted on, take the cover off of the motor. And on your manual rig, you'll want to take your pulley at the bottom on your leg of your cart. You're going to unhook the drive line from that. And you can keep this pulley on the center leg for if you ever operate it in manual with the motor. Alright, you're going to take your drive line, goes over the top of this white pulley, and there's a slot here on the bottom, and your other one coming from your boom carriage will go hook it into the mount here, go over the top of this white pulley, and again there's a slot on this side too. If you put your cover back on it now, you'd be able to manually operate it, and so if your battery ever goes dead or there's an issue with the motor, you can still operate it in manual just like you were before. So with your drive line, you don't want to cut any of the string. You will use that if you end up using it in manual. So what you're going to do with that, loosen up these yellow just to get it out of the way a little bit, and you're going to pull it through and just wrap it around these two studs on the boom carriage. Alright, so now that you got it mostly wrapped on there, you want to make sure that your clip that is on your drive line is in between the motor and the boom carriage. So you want to make sure it's in the correct spot here. And you'll have a little bit of string that won't go around for another full wrap. And what you're going to want to do with that is you're just going to want to wrap it around this very first peg. You want to make sure that now you can pull it up from the bottom slot, and you just make sure it goes right underneath the aluminum wheel here. So the proper tension on the motorized rig, where you're going to stop wrapping it, is you want this spring over here to be halfway depressed. So you don't want it fully tight, and you don't want it floppy and loose. You just want it right in the middle. little another wrap. I got that halfway. Now you shouldn't have to adjust anything as far as your yellow strings, because this hole on the motorized rig and the hole on the manual tensioner is in the exact same spot. So that will just clip onto your motorized rig. Double check that your string is coming down over the top of the white pulley, underneath the aluminum pulley, and then over the top of this white one. Make sure that it doesn't get tangled on anything in there. And then you're going to be able to put your cover back on. So whether you order a manual or a motorized rig, all of our carts have the remote holder and also have the battery tray on the bottom cart. So your remote holder, you'll see on the back of the remote, there is a mounting bracket that will just clip into your remote holder here. All right, your wire coming out of the bottom of it where it says battery, that will connect to the pigtail that is connected to your battery. And then the wire coming out of the top, you'll use your 12-foot extension, and you're going to just plug one end of that extension into the top of the remote, and then the other end will plug right into the bottom of the motor. And you're able to clip your yellow string right back on your drive line clip. And everything should operate the same as it did in manual. The only difference is you're going to be just pushing a button instead of controlling it by the strings.